Hey, today I'm going to talk about Barefoot in the Park, 1984, and Crimes of the Heart. All three movies feature an actor I've seen at least once and wanted to see one more time. First up is Barefoot in the Park. This is a 1967 movie starring Robert Redford and Jane Fonda. The basic premise is that those two play a freshly married couple, and it's them trying to navigate how to be a married couple and all the silly hijinks that ensue. I crazy loved this movie. It is adorable. It is just... It's so cute, it's so fun. The chemistry between Robert Redford and Jane Fonda is just amazing. And Robert Redford's top billed, but Jane Fonda is really the lead of this movie. She just has such a presence whenever she's on screen. Like, yes, she's beautiful, she's crazy gorgeous. Even if you take away her beauty, she still just has this presence about her where like, she kind of just like commands your attention. Like whenever she speaks, you're like, you have to listen because it feels like it's something important. So you just listen. And then I love her character here. She loves life and she's trying to make the most out of life. Cause like, it feels like she knows that at any moment she could die. So she says yes to everything and just goes on all these silly adventures all the time. Cause like, you can't not go on silly adventures. What? But then the movie's about, trying to find compromise in marriage, like trying to figure out how to still be yourself, but still be yourself while still loving and caring for this other person. So it's a really good message tucked into like a really cute, really fun movie. So yeah, I 1000% recommend this movie. It's so much fun, it's so adorable, it's so cute, it's just, you're in for a good time. If you want a movie that'll make you feel good, watch this movie. It's so good, it's so good. Next up is 1984. This is a 1984 movie based on a 1948 book starring John Hurt, who, quick aside, has John Hurt ever not been old? Because like, he is 40 in this, but he still looks like an old man. Like, I'm tempted to watch a movie from when he's 20 to see if he's still an old man, because how does he always look so old? It also stars Suzanne Hamilton. She's the whole reason I wanted to watch it. She had a very, very minor part in Out of Africa, but her part really stood out. So I was like, oh, let's see if she's been in anything else. And I think this might be the only movie where she is like a top billed actor. So I wanted to check it out. And she does great in it. All the actors do a really fine job of acting. If you're unfamiliar with the premise, it's about a government that always has an eye on you, is always watching you. It constantly edits the news so that things seems better than they really are. I really just didn't get this movie. Like, I definitely got like the whole Big Brother stuff, but it didn't really feel like, oh, this is what government is gonna try to do eventually or is kind of doing now. It more so felt like it was a Russia is bad propaganda movie. Like, all the iconography in the movie just felt like it was Russian stuff, or I guess the Soviet Union at this point. I didn't really care for this one because I just didn't get it. And part of it could be that like, I've seen other stuff that's also based off the novel, but they've expanded upon it more, so I just was expecting more from this. Blame V for Vendetta. It's all V for Vendetta's fault. I've watched that movie so many times I own it. It's right down there. It's right. I found it. It's this movie's fault. It's V for Vendetta's fault. Just blame everything on this, because I watched this movie so many times as a teenager, so like, because of this movie I couldn't enjoy 1984 for what it really was. I did like the ending a lot though. That was very terrifying. I just wasn't scared with the rest of it. Even during like the torture stuff, I wasn't really that scared. Which is weird, because it's torture. I should be scared. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy this movie. It was performed well and shot well. It's just, it didn't work for me. And lastly is Crimes of the Heart. This is a 1986 movie starring Diane Keaton, Jessica Lange, and the whole reason I watched this movie, Sissy Spacek. She's just so adorable and I love her so much. The basic premise, this is based off a Broadway play and you can feel that so much. It's about three sisters just trying to live their lives. It's essentially a coming-of-age story starring a 40-year-old woman. That isn't innately a bad thing, like you're still trying to mature as a person when you're in your 40s, but just like Diane Keaton plays her character like she's 13 years old. Like I don't think there was a single moment in the movie where I was like, yes, that's an adult. Her performance felt more akin to that of 13 going on 30. You're not an adult in this. She is a child trapped in an adult's body. Literally, not metaphorically. Which I think she's going for metaphor, but she's playing it literal. This movie was just so hard to watch too because every line of dialogue was a story, was backstory with all these silly things that happened, and you need to pay attention to every little story because they're building off of everything, and if you miss something, then you're missing everything. It's so hard to follow. Sissy Spacek was definitely the standout of the three main ones. I am biased because she is adorable, but I do think there's a story in here worth telling. It's just the execution here did not work for me. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we have Barefoot in the Park, sitting at number 7. I crazy love that movie, but because of the ending, I couldn't put it above The Chase. I love The Chase so much. So it's just below The Chase and just above Judas and the Black Messiah. It's so good, it's so good. And then next up is 1984, sitting at number 64 in the meh category. And then bringing up the rear is Crimes of the Heart, sitting at number 67 in the meh category. And this is out of a total of 90 movies so far this year. And as a quick aside, Jane Fonda is now my #1 celebrity crush. Here is my hierarchy of celebrity crushes right now. These are all actors that I've mentioned recently. The one standout is Chris Evans. I haven't really watched any of his movies, but like he's always my go-to. Like I'm not gay, but like if Chris Evans asked to cuddle me, like I'm not gonna say no to that. Have you seen his arms? It would just be like the most, you'd be so safe. You'd be so safe in those arms. I can't say no to that.